Hello again, it's Connie. And in case you haven't noticed, I cut my hair. It was all the way down to here, and I cut it up to here. And today it's doing what it wants to do. I got it cut like all in like these crazy little layers, and I wanted to have something very light for the summer. And you saw how it is in the back. And so okay. Anyway, today I'd like to talk to you about letting joy find you. Originally, I had titled this Finding Joy Wherever You Can, especially when you're going through a season of life that is difficult. And for me, that's been the case for a few months. But recently, this was inspired by something that happened where when you're going through something, people will call you or text you and how is everything going and this and that. And so you're constantly giving updates and everything. And I was on my way to pick up my grandson. And, and I think it was just him. I think the other two kids were already picked up. But it was a little bit further drive because his school is a little further. And on the radio comes this old song from the 70s. It was Taking Care of Business by Bachman Turner Overdrive. And I always found that to be such a rousing song. The weather was beautiful that day. In North Carolina, even my pastor said this weekend, North Carolina weather sometimes is bipolar. One day it's nice, one day it's cold, and the same day you'll have all these fluctuations. Well, that afternoon it was lovely. It was just beautiful. I had no jacket on. The windows were rolled down. I have this old rock and roll song playing, and I'm just like a 19-year-old in the car. And so I figured, okay, I'm gonna let them go to voicemail, and I will call them back because I was in that moment. I had a few moments before I picked up Brody, and I was in that moment. It was just a very joyous moment for just one of those little things that happen, one of those moments that come to you. And recently we also, after that happened, my husband said, why don't we go somewhere where we have never gone before, some new town. And we decided to do that, and we set out for it, and it was the town of Davidson, which is not that far from Charlotte. I think it's only, I don't even think 20 miles from Charlotte, and it's a little college town. It is really lovely. As a matter of fact, let me show you some footage from it. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes you have to go where you have never been before. I think there's a quote like that somewhere. But it is about letting joy find you. Whether you set out to look at see a place and spend a little time in a place that you've never been before, and it doesn't have to cost much, and it doesn't have to be that far from your home, or just sitting in a car and an old favorite song comes on and you sing along with it. You allow yourself that time of joy. I think that's something that we all from time to time need, no matter what struggle we are going through in our lives. Sometimes it can be something that is truly simple, like pouring a cup of tea for yourself and someone that you love, really savoring that cup of tea the way that you like it, with the sugar and some lemon, doing nothing but drinking that tea, or lighting a candle after dinner and enjoying the light that it gives. I like to do word search puzzles, but really any type of puzzle or activity that makes you just slow down and breathe and enjoy a simple pleasure. which also describes a healthy breakfast. Of course, joy and happiness are not the same thing. I have a quote that I'm going to share. I just found it, and it's by Charles Swindoll, who was a Christian pastor who also spoke on the radio. That's how we came to know him. And he was an author, and he said, "Joy is a deeply felt contentment that transcends difficult circumstances and derives maximum enjoyment from every good experience." So um, there's no kind of qualifying factor for that experience. It could be something just simple, like a cup of tea or a cup of eating out. I make cookies, and really I make them for the kids. I always say that. But I also make them for myself. And I like to make the little chocolate chips and the sugar cookies. But I will freeze them, and when the kids come over, I say, well, there's some in the freezer. They're in little packets, and just, heat them up in the microwave. They'll be perfect. Or I'll take out a packet of a couple at a time, and I'll enjoy one night and then the next night. And really eating that cookie slowly, giving yourself permission just to be in that moment, like we are sometimes in moments that are difficult or sad, but instead we're doing it for our good. We're taking that moment to notice such simple things as the taste of butter and chocolate, you know. So I think that is something that we need to be able to do, and we need to do for ourselves. It's something that does restore us, and it has a power that we don't realize until we actually experience it. But as Chuck Swindoll says, joy doesn't depend upon our circumstance. And if we let it find us, because it's all around us, there's always, for some reason, a beautiful day, just being able to sit down and journal and express gratitude for all the things that are going well, you know. So that's my word from today. It's not a very long video, and I hope that today and every day that joy finds you, your work done. So I thank you for coming to my channel. If this has helped you, please share it with someone else, and let me know what manner of ways that you find joy also in the comments. So thanks for being here, and I will catch you on the next one.